Okay. So today, our business boot camp number 2, we are going to talk about adding value to people's lives. And so this topic, I love this topic so much. It's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. I recently heard a quote that said, in our business, in any kind of business where you are eventually going to ask for something. So ask, is there anything you'd like to take home today? Is there anything in our line that you think would benefit you that you'd like to purchase? That you want to have 1 to 3 attempts of just adding value with no ask connected. So I'm just sharing this. I'm not asking for a sale. I'm just adding value to your life. And what I love about our product line is we have a lot of things that can add value to people's life. We have a lot of
Yeah.
amazing products that can add
Mhm.
value to people's life. And so
Mm.
what I love about this idea is that a lot of us struggle with the thought of selling and asking people, like we feel like it just feels,
Yeah,
asking people for
yeah,
money, which is so funny because when we go to the dentist or we go any place we go where we've been added value, we know we're going to give them money. When the carpet
yeah,
cleaner comes, he added value to my home because he cleaned my
yeah,
carpet. I'm giving him
yeah,
money. We had a plumber come to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
o'clock on Saturday night. He added value because our bathroom didn't flood. We're giving him money, probably extra money because he came
yeah.
at 10 o'clock on Saturday night, right? So it's not, the concept is not like we understand it, but our brains can sometimes, like those thoughts can get in there and be like, oh, we can have a negative thought around it.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
today we're going to look at specifically how in Mary Kay we can add value to people's lives and how when our whole mindset from the time we wake up till the time we go to bed, how can I add value to my customers' lives, to my future customers' lives, even to our families' lives, to our friends' lives? Like, how can I add value? And to know that we can, all of us have something that we can give to add value to other people's lives. Even encouraging words, all of us have the ability to add value, right? And depending on our personalities and our gifts and talents, that's going to show up in different ways. So right now in the Mary Kay world, and we're going to be able to take this and translate it to other products and other things. But right now in the Mary Kay world, there's a really cool, or and the world, not even just the Mary Kay world, there's a trend right now that people are very interested in finding out their season. So are you a spring? Are you a summer? Are you a winter? Are you a fall? And so that's very trending right now in the
Mhm.
world. And so what's fun about this is when you know your season, you then know what colors you would pick for clothing that best complement your skin tone. And then in the Mary Kay world, we know what colors will look good on our face, like which eyeshadows and
Mhm,
which lipsticks. And it really
mhm.
makes such a big difference.
Wow. Yeah.
Many people that are figuring out their seasons and have shared like before they knew their season and after they knew their season. And before you're like, well, that looked okay. And then you see the after and go, oh, but that just is them. It just
Mhm,
kind of highlights everything. So we
mhm,
have this trend right now in the world where people want to know their season. And
mhm.
there are 4 directors, and then Bernie, I think have you been on a call with Miranda Rains, the fashion consultant? It's been a star prize I've done where she gives tips on the
Yeah.
season.
I
I
know of her, but no, I wasn't on that call. I didn't
okay,
make it to the
okay.
call.
So Miranda, who is a stylist, she's also a Mary Kay sales director, but she's an expert in all things fashion and color. And
Mhm.
you can schedule individual appointments with her and she'll help you figure all that stuff out. But they created this training for Mary Kay consultants to
Wow.
help you learn how to figure out people's seasons and then connect them to our color. So, what we're going to talk, I'm going to give you some specifics on that today. And then at the end of the call, I will forward um, the entire training. So there's a training that you can watch that explains it all. There are all the resources you need for yourself and for to share with other people.
Mm.
You'll have all of it. And so
Mhm.
at the end of the day today, I'm going to give you a little challenge,
Okay.
but it is such a great way to add value to people's life.
Mm.
So I'm going to share what I've experienced this last week with this training. So um, I'll start with how I've been reaching out to people. And it's so fun because you can do this with current customers and people that have never tried Mary Kay, or maybe people that you've asked about trying Mary Kay and they haven't been interested. You can reach out to all of these people. And again, everything I'm going to share with you, actually, it's posted in our Facebook group. I posted it last night. It's called Seasons Booking and Coaching Strategy. Um, and so all the words are here. So you don't have to write any of this down because it's in the PDF I already posted. But I wanted to share with you how I've been reaching out to people. And it's simply this. So, hey, Bernie, I recently attended a training to learn how to help people understand their color season. And it's so fun. Do you know your season?
Mhm.
That's it. And
Mhm.
so they're either going to go, oh, yeah, I recently figured out my season. And you can ask them what it is and how they learned it. The majority of the people that I've found have said no. And a lot of people have said, but I've been wondering what it was because I've heard people talking about it. Okay. So
Mhm.
we have, with the training that I'm going to show you, the ability to add value to people's life by helping them figure out their season. Okay. I haven't asked them to buy anything. I've just said, I've been trained and I want to help people figure out their season.
Mhm.
Okay. So that's the start of the conversation. And what's fun is that this can happen, when you're at work, chit chatting with somebody. Hey, I just went to this training and figured out how to help people know their season. Do you know yours? It can happen um, when you're out to dinner with friends. It can happen. My youngest daughter is here for the summer and she had a friend. So they're both in their 20s. And I had gotten home from an appointment where I was helping somebody figure out their season. And she said, Mrs. Lang, were you doing Mary Kay stuff? And I said, I was. I was helping somebody figure out their season. And she said, oh, can you help me figure out mine? And so it just in conversation,
Mhm.
it can
Mhm.
happen. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a such a fun way to just open the door to
Mhm.
what
Mhm.
the value that we can add to people. So
Yes.
that's the start of your conversation. After, if somebody says, no, I don't know, then the response, and again, all the details are in this PDF. I share, well, the first thing we want to figure out, and I'm going to share my screen so I can show you. The first thing, okay, can you guys see a screen with eyes on it? Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
let me present it and let me get back to the beginning. Okay, the first thing we want to do, the first place you want to start with people and helping them know their season is you have to know their skin tone. Okay, are they cool or warm? And that is the place, as I've talked to people, that's where people are getting stuck. Like, how do I know if they're a cool or a warm? Well, there is a quiz that Mary Kay has, and it's a foundation matching quiz. And what's great about our foundations is that they are numbered by, beige, ivory, or, or bronze, and they have a letter. Like it's either like beige, W, 100. The letter is the skin tone. So if somebody takes this quiz and they have either a C or a W in their foundation, all right, well, they're a cool or they're a warm. And the quiz is very accurate. I have matched people a foundation virtually by giving them this quiz. Tons of people. It's really interesting. So you're going to know, are they cool or warm?
Mhm.
Now, there is one letter that you're going to get that's not on this, what I'm going to share with you in a second, and it's an N. They're a neutral. So how do you know? Do they lean warm or do they lean cool? If they're a neutral, I ask them a couple other questions. I ask them two other questions. One, do you um, feel like you look better in gold jewelry or silver jewelry? If it's gold jewelry, they're probably leaning more warm. And if it's silver, they're probably leaning more cool. Okay, so I ask the jewelry question, and then I ask the sunburn question. When you go in the sun, do you burn and then kind of tan a little, but not a whole lot, or do you burn and then get real tan? If they get real tan, they're gonna lean more warm. And if they kind of burn and then don't get super tan, kind of go back to the normal color, then they're gonna lean more cool. Okay. And again, all this is on the template, all this information. So once you know their skin tone, this is the quiz that I'm showing you on the screen. It is so simple. So I the other thing, um, yeah, all right. So let me tell you what I did for mine. So I lean more warm I'm a neutral, but I lean more warm. Um, I'm blonde slash silver slash, I don't even know what the color of my hair is right now. It's what God gave me. And I'm like, well, this side's kind of blonde, but then this kind, I don't even know. So I just landed in blonde and my eyes are lighter. So I'm a spring. And so let's do you guys. So Bernie, what foundation shade do you wear? Or what do you think you are? Cool or warm?
I think I'm warm.
Okay. So warm, blonde.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then what color are your eyes?
They're brown.
They're brown. Okay.
Yes.
So that would bring you to autumn. And I'm going to show
Autumn.
you the templates. Okay. So I'm
Okay.
pages. I'm going to show you. So that has you landing as an autumn.
Yeah.
You'll see the colors.
Wow.
Yeah. Ginger, how about you? Do you think your skin tone is more cool or warm?
I'm more cool.
Or cool. Okay. And your hair color, I can't tell because it's pulled back today. Would you be more in the brunette or the blonde?
It's more blonde.
More blonde. Okay. And then, so that cool blonde takes you right down to summer. All right.
Mm.
So let me show you what that means. So there's spring, that's mine. When I looked at spring, I was like, oh, in the upper left-hand corner, those are the clothing color palette for your season. So when I show you your palette, we're going to start up there. And when I looked at this, I went, oh, there are some colors that I wear on there. And when I wear them, people will say, oh, Beth, that's a good color for you. And they're on this. I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. This green color, I hadn't had much of it. And I had one green shirt or a green dress I wore with my suit last year. And I always got compliments with that dress. And so I was like, I need to pay attention to that. Anyway, so that's spring. So let's go to you guys. All right. Summer. Okay. Bernie, what were you? You were autumn. Okay.
Autumn.
Ginger, you were summer.
Mhm.
Okay. Ginger, when you look at the clothing color palette, are there colors on there that you wear or that you are drawn to? Tell me about that.
Yes, my favorite color is purple, so my wardrobe is very purplish.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so is my makeup. So yeah.
Makeup. Yeah. So when you look at this, you've got purples all in the middle section. You've got, when you look down at the Mary Kay colors, you've got frozen iris, sweet plum, merlot, soft heather, like all of that. So you're wearing the right colors is what I'm saying. You're in that for your So what's fun about this is once you figure out people's their season, then you can take them to this palette, okay, or this picture, okay? Got it all right here. Bernie, let's go to yours. Let's see what you think about autumn. That's winter, autumn. Okay.
Yeah.
When you look at those colors in the clothing color palette, excuse me, what do you see colors that you wear that you
Oh
like?
yeah. Like the muted colors, like the pink, the muted pink and the orange and So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It is, you're right. Autumn kind of takes all the colors and just kind of like spring, the dime is very bright and jewel
Uh-huh.
tones. And this kind of takes it and just kind of mute it. That's a great word
Mute
for
it.
it. Kind of
Yeah.
shifts it down. Yeah. So warm and yeah, those are beautiful. When you
Yeah.
look at the Mary Kay colors, are those colors that you are they surprises to you? Are they colors you've been using?
Is that Shy Blush,
It
the
is.
first one?
Yep.
Yes. I love that one.
I,
Yeah.
such a good color. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what this shows you, so today, I think that's the last. Oh, okay. All
That
right.
is so cool.
Isn't it cool? So this is
Yes.
so fun. So
Yeah.
we have a foundation quiz to help people figure out their skin tone. Then we have a quiz to help them find their season. And it's so simple, right? It's such a simple tool to use with people. And then once you know their season, you can, the colors that are on that template, and there are also, what I'm going to forward to you, you're going to get a whole bunch of information, but there are um, uh, pages that have like for spring, it'll have 3 different Mary Kay palettes with
That's
the
cool.
3 eye colors and a cheek color that it recommends putting together. So when
Mhm.
you're meeting with someone, you can say, you've got 3 choices here. Which one would you like to try? Or which one? All of them are in your season, so they're probably all going to look good. So they can pick which season they like. And then this is the paint by number of where they put their colors. So we've got different eye shapes, and I'm just going to give you some instruction on how do you know what shape is what. And ladies, it takes a little practice. Sometimes people are like a little bit of both. But it is, if they put the eyeshadow on, if you think they're one shape and you put the eyeshadow on, it doesn't look quite right. If they're leaning another way, you just take it off and try it again. Like don't like worry about, oh my gosh, am I going to get the right eye shape? But let me explain how we know what eye shape they are. So standard, they're not too wide. They're not too, but they're about, when I explain wide and close set, you'll understand what standard means when I talk about the closeness to each other. But they're kind of equal distance from the nose. You can see their lid. Their crease is not too deep, like back into their eye. Their eyebrow is not too forward. It's all just kind of, everything's balanced. That's a standard eye. A wide set eye is if someone's eyes are wide enough that you feel like you could actually, another eye could fit in between the 2 eyes, that's wide set. Tom and I watched the movie Emma the other night, the 2020 version on Amazon Prime. And I don't know the actress that played Emma, but she had wide set eyes. I was looking at her the whole time, like, she has wide set eyes. It's a great movie if you want a good family friendly movie. Anyway, wide set eyes, that's how you determine if they're wide set. Close set, the opposite. Like they're just set like real close to the nose. That's a close set eye. Hooded is when that's kind of an Asian eye. But it's when you open your eye and you can't see the lid at all. It kind of disappears, like the lid right over your eyeball. And you open it up and you can't see the lid anymore. That's a hooded eye. Deep set, I have deep set eyes. And it means, and my husband really has deep set eyes. So he says he's got a natural sun visor because his brow comes forward. Like if you look at him from the side, his brow comes forward. And like when water, he's like, I stand in the shower and water just goes right over and right down my face. It doesn't get in. That's a deep set eye. Okay. And then a single eye this is actually probably Asian would be the best description of this, where you really don't see any of the lid at all, ever, because it's just, they blink, it's just all one eyelid. Okay. So when you know this, you can then, when you're sitting with someone, you figured out their undertone, you figured out their season, and then now you know where to put the eyeshadow. Okay. All right. Isn't that fun?
It is fun. That's so great.
So fun. So we have added so much value to people because
Yeah.
most people, they
They
even
don't
if they're
know.
watching YouTube videos, or they're not having somebody sit down with them and offer them this information.
Mhm.
So what I want to share with you is what kind of the path that you can use with this and how you can use this to share product with people in the next week of your life. Okay. So I told you how I reached out to people, asking them if they knew their season. When they responded to me that they didn't know their season, I would ask them, do you want to know your season? And I've not had anyone tell me no, that they don't want to know their season. Like, yeah, I'd like to know.
Uh-huh.
And so my next message of conversation is it starts with your skin tone. I'm going to send you a quick quiz for you to take to help me know your skin tone. Okay, so I send them the quiz. In the notes I'm going to send you, it tells you where to find the quiz on Mary Kay. It tells you step by step on where to find that quiz because it's a few steps to get there, unfortunately. But you guys are smart. You're going to figure it out. Once you get to the quiz once you pull it up, I copy and paste so if the quiz is on the screen up in I don't know if you call it the search bar or whatever that is, it has the link. I just copy that and paste that into the text messages to people. Okay, that's how I send it to them because I want them in there to be able to just click on it and take the quiz.
Mhm.
You could, and ladies, the place you're going to find this is on your customer website, the marykay.com / whatever your Mary Kay website is. That's where it is. So you could send people there to take it, but it's still several steps. I just want them to.
Yeah.
I
Click on
learned years
it.
ago from a friend who did IT for a company, and she said, Beth, a good website has like the least amount of steps from where you are to where you want to go. She goes, every time you add a step, you lose people. So
Mhm.
we don't want to lose people. We want them to be able to go click, take the quiz. They take the quiz and I say, tell me your number. And
Mhm.
so that's where they're going to tell me I'm an Ivory C, 100. And we're going to know, oh, see, they're a cool. All right. So once we know their undertone, this is where you can go several different directions. So I immediately say, I would love to get together with you to help you figure out your season. Because now that we know your undertone,
Mhm.
I've got this fun little quiz. I'd love to meet with
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
And you can do this virtually or in person. But I even though I could just quick send them the quiz and they could do it, I want to meet with them one-on-one so I can offer more customization. While we're there, I can show them all of the other things that I know. So I'm going to ask them if we can schedule a time to get together. Okay, so that's my first ask.
Mhm.
If they say, yeah, great, let's get together, book that time. I will ask them, are you more available during the week or on the weekend? And last week, I'm pretty sure if I didn't, I'll say it again. I talked about how in your organization, I think I can't remember if I said it or not. In your organization, before you're reaching out to people, I've got my calendar. You want to know when you're available. So
Yeah.
I love a paper calendar where I just at the beginning of the month, I put in all the spots that I can book appointments. So
Mhm.
when I'm asking someone, are you available during the week or the weekend? I can just glance at my calendar. And this one I love, it's got three little holes that I
Mhm.
can put in
Mhm.
keep it in my
Binder.
organization binder. Um,
Mhm.
I can, when they say, you know what, I'm most free during the week, you can look and go, okay, this week I have Wednesday at 7 or Friday at 7.
Mm.
And what I like about that kind of piece of the conversation is it lets them know that you're a professional and you have specific times you're working.
Mhm.
When we're like, yeah, we should get together sometime, let's figure it out. That creates the presence of you they don't take it as seriously, like, oh yeah, and they're like, it's like, yeah, we'll do it sometime. When you say, nope, these are my appointments I have available, which one would you like? And so they will go, all right,
Yes.
I'm gonna do Wednesday at 7. Awesome. If they say, I need to check my calendar, or I need to check with my husband, or I need to, whatever they need to do, then the next step is to say, you know what? Let's set a tentative time. So you get something on the calendar.
Tentative.
Let's pick a time that you and I know we could meet, like right now before you check, because I want to hold that space for you, but I want something on a calendar somewhere. And then, so it's a tentative booking, but it's something, right? It gives you a reason to follow up and say, hey, we chatted yesterday. You were thinking Wednesday at 7 worked. Did you check with your husband? You know, so kind of booking. So book that. Once I have something on the books, like Wednesday at 7, at that point, I say, you know what? Do you have any friends that you think would love to know their season? Because they would be welcome to come. It's just as easy for me to do this with you than it is with friends. And it's actually kind of fun to do with friends. So then I'm taking that booking, that is what we call a facial or a one-on-one, and I'm turning it into a class, which is multiple people. Okay. That's how that works. So can you see how, when we talk about getting bookings and Mary Kay, when you know the skills, it makes it so much more easy and
Yeah.
like you go, this is just a natural part of a conversation. I'm starting with sharing the value that I can add to them, taking them through this process, and that's where you get to, oh, I have a group of people that I'm getting together with that is excited about what's going to happen because they know you're adding value to them.
Yes.
So there's
Yes.
all of these steps of adding value, and never once have I asked for anybody to buy anything. I'm just sharing what I have to offer. I've already helped them figure out their skin tone.
Yeah.
Like so many things
It's
of
huge.
adding value. It is.
Yeah.
So that's like the scenario where we have people that we're in front of. Let's say they go, you know what, Beth, I'm so crazy. Like they just are not booking. Nope, thank you. Then I will send them the quiz. The actual, like I'll text them a picture of the quiz that if we're in person, I'm going to do that when we meet in person. But if they don't book, so I send them the quiz and they send the quiz and say, okay, we know your skin tone, follow the path and let me know your season. So they say, text me back. I'm a summer. And then I ask them kind of like I did with both of you. What do you think? Is that resonating with you? Like wanting to see if they're on board with it. I'm getting them excited about, oh, like you said, Ginger, purple. Yep. My whole closet is purple. Like you're wearing the right colors, Some people are surprised by it. Amy Croft in our unit, she was surprised to know she's a spring, which has a lot of bright colors. And on our meeting last night, she had put on a look of spring and looked amazing. I'm like, Amy, that's a lot of bold colors. Looks so good. And she was so surprised that she was a spring, which was so fun to discover that. But so you send them the quiz and they tell you what season they are. You send them the results, the palette, and then I ask again, I would love to get together with you to see if you'd like to try some of these colors on your face. And at that point, some people may change their mind, like, oh, well, maybe I do want to get together and actually try the products, or I actually do want you to send me some samples of the products so I can try. So I ask again at that point. If they are like, you know what, I just, I really don't have time to get together. At that point, I say, you know what, you've got a great resource. You've got your clothing, you've got your Mary Kay colors. I'm going to pop a couple of samples in the mail to you to just get to try. Maybe it's just a lipstick sample from the palette, whatever you have on hand. And then at the bottom of the page, I don't know if you noticed, there's actual specials of different palettes. So there's like the basic all the way up to the pro. And so I let them know, at the bottom, there's some specials if you want to take advantage of them. But enjoy this information and like, there you go. And so it may end with them having their palette. You haven't sold anything. You've tried multiple times to book. You've let them know there's an opportunity if they do love something, but you've added value, which is important because you've created a great relationship with them. The other thing that's important with this whole conversation is that even though we're introducing color, skincare is always a part of this.
Yeah.
So some of the people I've worked with are already skincare customers. So I will, when we meet, I check in on their skincare. Is what you're using working for you? What are other skin issues you've got going on? Because we want to make sure we help with those before we put any color on your face.
Yes.
If they haven't tried our skincare, you can send them some skincare packets to try in advance, or when you get together with them in person, you can have, it doesn't take long to do the miracle set. You can do a quick, here, we're going to wash your face. We're going to put some moisturizer on and the day serum, because that's going to really make a difference on how the color looks. So I always have skincare in with this, but we're opening the conversation door with the seasons topic.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does. That's great.
Okay. What questions do you have, or what feedback, anything comments that you want to make on this idea of adding value to people's life and then using the seasons as a way to add value?
I think it's great. I think it's really great because people, like you said, people wonder, what is my season? And sometimes it's great to have someone on the outside looking in saying, oh yeah, you're this or that, and just follow the chart. So I think that is great to be able to offer that.
Yeah. And so simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's helpful too, because sometimes you think what looks good on you, but when somebody else is looking at you, they're like, well, but I think this looks better. Like, yeah, this is good, but I think this looks better.
Right. Right.
And yeah, some people don't even realize it.
Right. And when you have a tool that you can point to, it's not just your opinion. You're like, well, actually, if you're a summer, this, and sometimes it's just a shade difference, like they love green, but it's a different green. So just helping them shift, but having where it's not our rules, we didn't make it up. This is like, who made it up? But when we can point them to that resource, it gives a neutral place for conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. So in your binder, what you can put in your binder this week is you can print off all of the instructions that I just gave on seasons, the quiz, anything you want to print off that's going to help you. Amy Croft shared the way she's doing this. So she printed off all of the, so I mentioned that there's some templates that have like summer, and it has the 3 different looks that somebody has put together from Mary Kay, like it shows actual compacts, and then it has lipsticks on the side. She printed off all of those, so she has those, so she can just put them in front of somebody and say, okay, which one do you want to try? And then she took 2 compact pros and put like 2 seasons in each compact pro.
That's great.
So when you have full-size product, you can use those with different people. You just get the applicators, paint out the applicators, but you're not transferring any germs when you do it that way. So she's got 2 seasons and 2 compact pros, which I'm like, well, that's brilliant.
That's
When
cool.
she shows up for an appointment, those are the resources that she has for people. So in your binder, you're going to want to put all of your resources that you want to use, and then some notebook pages. This is where we're going to start reaching out to people this week, because we have a champion mindset, and we have ways that we're going to add value to people's life. So who doesn't need a champion mindset person in their life? Everybody does. And you guys have that. And then, and I have this tool that I can share with people. So what I want you to do right now, I'm going to give you 60 seconds. I'm going to start my timer. I want you to think of 5 people that you could ask this question to. I just got off a call and got training on how to help people understand their season. Do you know yours? I'm going to set my timer and I want you to think of 5 people that you can reach out to. And if you think of more than 5 in the minute, then put them down. But the timer is going. Okay. So did you have some people you were able to think of that you could ask this question to?
Yes.
Okay.
Family and customers. So I have a lot of customers that are skincare, but I never approached the color topic because I really wasn't sure how to go.
Right.
And so this gave me more confidence.
Yes. That's a common feeling for a lot of
Yeah.
us. I know when I started, I had no idea, like I didn't know how to, I knew one way to do my own makeup. So the thought of
Uh-huh.
letting other people figure out their, it's like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So this feels like it gives, I just said all the tools to
Yes.
make it
Yes.
happen. Ginger, how about you? Were you able to think of anyone that you could ask the question to?
I can only think of 2.
Okay, great.
Because I have some other people, they have a different consultant and they've already gone that way. And so I'm like, leave those people alone. And so it's hard. And I work for a company, I work in technology, which is all men,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
all men.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you know what's fun is you start with the 2. You start with those people. When I moved to Missouri, I didn't know anyone. And it started with one person.
Mhm.
It was one person that was on the staff at the school that my husband works at. And she was willing to host a Mary Kay party for me. And that's how it started. She invited 4 people. And at that time, I asked for referrals. I said, do you know anyone? There was a game I call it the Fabulous Game. And while we're together, I just say, who do you know? And in this case, who do you know that would want, oops, there's my phone. Um, sorry about that. You would ask, do you know anyone that would want to know their season? Because I'd love to
Mhm.
help them know. And just like we talked about, when you're booking them, after they're booked, to say, do you have a friend that would want to come? And even if it's just one friend that comes, that's doubled your people. But
Mhm.
that's how it starts. We had this conversation on our meeting last night about the struggles of meeting people. And I reminded them that the way Mary Kay taught us, the best way to meet a lot of people is by starting with one and meeting people that they know and love.
Mhm.
Um, so you start with one, you build trust, and this whole experience gives you a great way to build trust. And then they'll say, yeah, I will, I will have my friend join me because I trust you. And then that friend comes and they say, I actually have 4 people that I'd love to have join you. So those are better referrals than if somebody gave you a list of cold leads. Like that,
Mhm.
person to person to person, but it's trusting the process and staying consistent. If we each shared this with 2 people a week for the year, that's 104 people.
That's a lot.
It's a
Yes.
lot of people,
Yes.
right? And so it's being okay in our brains, like we live in this world where we just see all the big, all the lots. And the only, like all of those big and lots were small steps that got there. Very few people do anything that is big immediately. Like there's no very few overnight successes. There's been a lot of steps before that.
Yeah.
So when you can in your brain go, gosh, so I've got 2 people. I'm going to start with them. And then we're going to grow from there. It really is such a fun process. And it just brings you a whole lot more joy too, because you're pacing consistently. So I'm going to end our training today. I'm going to share a story with you. I posted her picture on Facebook, but it was a gal that I met with last week that I booked her to help her learn her season. And I met her because she works at a salon. She's a hairstylist, and the owner of the salon, I had met at an event I did. So I had a table at a store and was passing out samples. And I met Linnea, and she was interested in learning her. What was she interested in? Skin. She's like, I need something new for my skin. I said, great, let's get together. So I met with Linnea. So one person. And at that event, I had 20 names of people that I met. And I had 2 bookings from those 20 names. So just to see how this all goes. So I met with Linnea at her salon in the back room before she started work. So we met. She started using the skincare and microdermabrasion. As I was walking out, because I'd added value to Linnea, as we were, and you guys, it was such a fast appointment. Like it was probably 15 minutes because she was the owner of a salon, and she's like, I have this much time. Like, okay, blah. Here we go. We walked back out, and one of her stylists, she said, hey, Jennifer, you might want to try the skincare. It's really good. And so I had samples that I left with Jennifer. I called Jennifer, text her, hey, have you tried the samples? No, not yet. Sitting on my bathroom, all these things that people will tell you, like it takes them so long to wash their face. So I called her after I got the season training and said, hey, I'm checking to see if you use the samples. I also wanted to let you know I have this training in figuring out people's seasons. Would you want to get together to learn your season? And she said, yes. So we met at Panera last week. She brought her 7-year-old son. Like it's always, it's never like what you see in the training videos where it's like this beautiful thing. I mean, sometimes it is, but a lot of times you're sitting at a Panera with a woman and a 7-year-old son while he plays on his, little screen thing. So we're at Panera and we go through the whole process. We figure out her skin tone. We put some CC cream on. We figure out her season. And I tell her where to put her eyeshadow. And she had real hooded eyes. And she said, I don't want to look sleepy anymore. And when you put your eyeshadow on the right place on a hooded eye, it opens up your eye. And it was magical. It's always magical. And she was just so happy. We had the most delightful time, added so much value to her. And you know what she purchased at the end? She purchased the cleanser and a mascara. And then, so she had finally used the skincare before we got together and loved it. And we booked a party, a tentative booking, because she had to check on her schedule. She was leaving for vacation, a tentative booking to do a party so she could earn some hostess credit for the color that we tried that day.
Awesome.
So what was really fun, and this is a part that I wanted to share, that when we talk about adding value, I was texting with Linnea, the person that introduced me to Jennifer. And I've been trying to book a sharing appointment with her because I want to share the opportunity with her. And so we've been kind of back and forth on schedules. And in one of my text messages, I said, I met with Jennifer yesterday and we figured out her season. It was so fun. And she said, I know, she came by the salon after your appointment and she was beaming. She was,
oh, wow.
and I thought, oh my gosh, this is why I love what I do. I love being able to add value. And it is really what Mary Kay taught us. She taught us to go into appointments um, knowing that we were not there to get, but to give. We
Mhm,
were there to serve.
mhm,
She didn't believe P&L stood for profit and loss. She said it stood for people and love. And
mhm.
she was so smart because she knew that when we go in with that attitude of adding value, people are going to leave beaming. People are going to leave feeling great about themselves,
Yeah,
connected to you, ready to do more with you. And ultimately, if the product has met a need, they're going to purchase from you. And
yeah,
so it feels
yeah,
so good to sell when you know you are selling something that people are so excited about because they can't wait to put it on their face.
yeah,
That is what
yeah.
Mary Kay, that was her whole philosophy for selling and building this company. She said, if people come in with dollar signs in their eyes, it's not going to work for them because people are going to feel it and they're not going to come back. So they might sell something once, but they're not going to be loyal. I want a loyal customer base that is like I have customers that have been with me for 20 years. That's
Wow.
a lot of 50% profit because I have a loyal customer base
Mhm.
because we've added value. So, it's so fun. And doesn't it like it makes my heart excited to reach out to people
Yeah,
when I am reaching out to share how I can add value to them.
yes,
Like when we know something, we want to help people.
yeah.
Like you want to, if let's say you're at an amusement park and somebody's like, oh my gosh, like we can't find this ride, and you know exactly how to get there. I will totally be like, I didn't mean to uh like eavesdrop, but the way you get to that ride is just right around the corner. And they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Add value to them, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the challenge this week is to reach out to those people that you put on your list and
Mhm.
ask them that question. Get all your resources lined up in your binder.
Yes.
And then if you can meet with anybody this week, awesome. But your main goal is to make those asks this week.
Okay.
Okay. Any
Mhm.
questions or comments before we wrap up today?
This is great.
Do you feel like you've got something that you can
Yes,
tangibly, like move into action?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, we will be back next week for our final business boot camp. And you guys are champions. You have a champion mindset. Continue that. Continue thinking about like capturing those negative thoughts when they come. And a new thought you can add. So last week it was, I have a champion mindset. The phrase you can add this week is, I add value to people's lives. I add value to people's lives. Okay. Well, ladies, have a great week. We'll see you back here
Thank
next
you.
Tuesday, and I can't
Yes,
wait to hear how your week goes.
thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.